journey to southern Ethiopia, an adventure, nights under open skies. Among the Dorze, living high in the mist, then onward to the Konso, a people of stone-built villages and quiet mystery, where wooden statues guard the memory of ancestors. Deeper still, into the Omo Valley, the first encounter with the Mursi, feared by neighboring tribes. An African journey beyond the beaten paths. Far from asphalt roads, beyond the reach of any signal, relying only on ourselves, we move into the unknown, crossing wild rivers, searching for hidden waterfalls, and following a road that exists only for those willing to take it. Ethiopia, 1998. After several journeys across East and West Africa, we set out to explore the southern regions of this fascinating country. Before heading south, we spend some time in Piazza, a district developed in the 1930s, now the bustling commercial heart of Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa, a city founded in the late 19th century by Emperor Menelik II. In just a few decades, it became one of Africa's major capitals, a place where history, religion, and power intersect. Christianity arrived here in the 4th century. The ancient language of Ge'ez still lives on in the liturgy. Even the colors of the Ethiopian flag tell a story. Red, sacrifice; yellow, freedom; green, the land. The great market of Addis Ababa is known as Mercato, the largest market between Cairo and Johannesburg. We had been warned about pickpockets, so we visited it with our friends Emmanuel and Abereno. What drew our attention most were the traders coming from different regions of this vast country, each bringing their own goods, voices, and stories. On our way south, toward the Rift Valley Lakes, we stop in the town of Sodo, in the Sidamo region. Although Sodo lies much lower than Addis Ababa, the landscape still feels gently mountainous, with soft, rolling horizons. As everywhere in Ethiopia, we are quickly surrounded by a group of children. They watch us closely. They seem almost to pose for the camera. And more than once during the journey, I noticed how they would suddenly freeze, standing still in silence, waiting for the click of the shutter. We spent a day in Sodo, a town of around 35,000 people, and the next morning, we continued our journey toward Lake Awasa. Lake Awasa, set within the Great Rift Valley, is one of a chain of Ethiopian lakes formed in a vast tectonic depression. It stretches for about 62 kilometers in circumference, with a maximum depth of around 21 meters. The lake's shores proved difficult to access, so we decided to rent a boat for a few hours and cross to the other side. Although Lake Awassa is one of the smaller lakes in Ethiopia's section of the Great Rift Valley, its shores are remarkably scenic. The skies above the lake are alive with birds. Gulls, herons, wild geese and cormorants gather along the water's edge and circle above its surface. Ethiopia is often described as a paradise for ornithologists, home to more than 800 species of birds across the country. We head toward the fish market, passing other boats moving in the same direction. All around the lake lie dozens of Sidamo villages, where boats serve as a simple and essential means of transport. The waters of Lake Awassa are rich in fish, sustaining both wildlife and the local communities. The Sidamo catch bream, tilapia and catfish from its abundant waters. The fish market is where fishermen from across the region come to sell their catch. Young boys clean the fish and pack them into plastic barrels for transport to the nearby town of Awassa. Demand remains modest, but in this part of Ethiopia, where most people are practicing Christians, fish becomes especially important on Wednesdays and Fridays, when meat is not eaten. Around the pier, marabou storks gather in large numbers. They feed on fish scraps and carrion, moving with the slow patience of scavengers. Despite their vulture-like behavior, they belong to the stork family. An adult can stand over 5 feet tall, with a wingspan reaching nearly 10 feet. A young boy named Igramasiu invites us to visit his home. We accept and make our way by cart to a nearby Sidamo village. Our hostess prepares a simple meal of cornmeal for us over the fire. Smoke rises from the hearth, drawing children quietly into the house. Cornmeal is a staple in this region. Adults eat it with coffee from local farms, while children have it with milk from the cows that often share the same home. The Sidamo are one of nearly 80 ethnic groups living in Ethiopia. They belong to the Cushitic language family and share cultural ties with the Somali peoples. A century ago, their beliefs were largely animist, but today most are followers of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. In Cushitic languages, the name Sidamo has been interpreted as Ethiopian Christ. In the village we visited, only a few boys attending a nearby school spoke English. They used it mainly when interacting with foreigners, often taking on the role of informal guides, a small but valuable source of income. On our journey south, we reach the provincial capital of Gamo Gofa, the town of Arba Minch. For the next several days it becomes our base. Shaded by the broad canopy of a large ficus tree, the local bar turns into a place we return to again and again. There are many willing to accompany us on the journey to Lake Chamo. They warn us about crocodiles and the hardships of the trek. The lake lies within Nechisar National Park. It takes 2 days to reach Chamo, our guide tells us. Take food and plenty of water. The road leading toward the lake was thick with mud. The rainy season had ended only 2 weeks earlier. We continued on foot, accompanied by porters, stopping for short breaks every few kilometers. Our first camp, near the Kuflo River, was not far from there. This is cat. Its fresh green leaves are widely chewed across Ethiopia for their stimulating effect. A gentle, lingering energy, not unlike strong coffee woven into everyday life. Our camp, set in the middle of the park, quickly attracted the curiosity of the baboons. In Africa, darkness falls quickly. So in the last hour of daylight, we sorted our notes and lit a fire to roast potatoes and keep unwelcome visitors at bay. The next morning begins with a quiet look at the surrounding landscape and a simple wash in the waters of the Kuflo River. The Nechisar forest stretches between Lakes Ababa and Chamo. To this day, some of the plants and animals found here remain unclassified by scientists. We reached the lake early in the morning. Lake Chamo stretches across the Rift Valley, calm on the surface, but beneath it lies a world ruled by predators. People of the Gajula tribe live around the lake. Until a few years ago, their villages stood along the water's edge, but under the rules of the national park, they were relocated deeper into the forest. We had hoped to see crocodiles, but that morning we were out of luck. By afternoon, we had returned to our base in Arba Minch. Our next destination lay in the mountains, the homeland of the Dorze people. The Dorze people live in the mountainous highlands of southern Ethiopia. Many of their villages lie above 3,000 meters, where the air remains cool despite the equatorial sun. At the market in the Dorze region, as throughout Africa, people trade in spices, fruit, meat, clothing, and everyday household goods. Women dominate the scene, dressed in white cotton garments known as gabi. Our arrival draws immediate attention. Dozens of eyes follow our every move. The Dorze are part of the wider Oromo cultural sphere and have lived in the highlands of southern Ethiopia for centuries. Over time, they moved from a more isolated, defensive way of life to a settled existence built around farming and weaving. In a small bar near the market, conversations drifted toward the quality of local honey. Our guide, Wasan, tasted it first, then chose to buy some of the golden delicacy. An African market is more than a place of trade. It draws people from across the region. It is not only about buying and selling, but about conversation that seems to have no end. As the day fades, a thickening mist begins to envelop the figures of people dressed in white gabi. The Great Rift Valley, stretching across East Africa from the Red Sea to southern Tanzania, began to form around 6 million years ago. Its mountains, rising above 4,000 meters, have been inhabited since prehistoric times. Today, the fertile lands of southern Ethiopia are home to as many as 45 different ethnic groups. The Dorze number around 10,000 people and belong to the Cushitic language family. They are connected to the broader Oromo cultural sphere, which includes several related communities. As early as the 16th century, Ethiopian emperors were already confronting Oromo groups expanding northward from the south. A century later, a gradual process of assimilation began, as Oromo communities came under the influence of the Amhara from the north. Today, most are followers of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Their small mountain churches bear little resemblance to those in Europe, often painted in soft pastel tones that blend gently into the surrounding landscape. Like other Oromo groups, the Dorze long ago left behind a warrior way of life, turning instead to farming and weaving, a craft that gradually became central to their identity. As in many parts of Africa, weaving is traditionally the work of men. They produce light cotton fabrics that are worn by women throughout Ethiopia. The tradition of wearing white cotton garments originates in the northern regions of the country, where white was associated with Christian farming communities. Today, Dorze weavers produce two main types of cloth: long tunics known as gabi and large shawls called shama, worn by men on cool mornings. The production of cotton textiles supports entire families. The income from selling tunics and shawls is quickly spent, often on imported clothing or medicine for children, who in many households are very numerous. Large families are common, shaped by the need for many hands to work the land. Among the Dorze, as in much of Africa, people often marry at a young age. The weaver's wife is 30 and already the mother of 7 children. Dorze houses are built from bamboo poles, covered with woven enset leaves. They rise in tall, beehive-like shapes, sometimes reaching up to 12 meters in height. A typical homestead includes 4 or 5 such structures, some standing for decades. When a house begins to lean with age or is damaged by termites, it is gradually replaced by a new one. The village where we stayed for a few days shared its name with the local people, Dorze. Alongside the town of Chencha, it was one of the largest settlements in the area. Social life centered on a small bar, where Dorze men gathered from early morning until late evening. Women were seen there far less often. Our guide, Wassam, drank Coca-Cola, while we opted for tej, the local honey-based drink. Its rich flavor and a strength comparable to dry wine always lifted our spirits. 2 or 3 rounds were enough to warm us, something that mattered in the cool highlands of the Dorze region. Our hotel, the only one in the village of Dorze, stood just across from the bar. There was no electricity, and water for washing was carried from a nearby well, poured into a large metal barrel, and heated. A warm bath in this part of Ethiopia was a rare luxury. Here, nothing seemed to be a problem, not at all. Each day we visited new homesteads. During one of our walks, Wasan decided to buy a clay pot. He complained that villagers raised their prices when they saw foreigners. In the end, he paid a small sum, and we were able to continue on our way. We visited the homesteads of local potters. While weaving is the exclusive domain of men, pottery belongs to the women. Today, clay vessels are made in only a few corners of Africa, as traditional crafts are steadily giving way to metal bowls and plastic containers. The Dorze do not use a potter's wheel. Instead, women shape the clay entirely by hand. They create both large vessels for storing water and smaller pots essential to everyday cooking. The ceramics, however, are fragile. Lightly fired clay lacks durability and cracks easily. Near the potters' homes, we come across Ethiopian cabbage, its leaves reminiscent of spinach in taste. In their small household gardens, the Dorze also cultivate tobacco. Around 75% of the population over the age of 10 cannot read or write, or a guide is not among them. Though only 17, Wasan has a remarkable awareness of the modern world. In Wasan's company, we continued visiting one homestead after another. The village where we stayed was widely dispersed, with Dorze homes scattered across a 2-mile radius around our hotel. Many Dorze women wore dozens of small braids known as sharuba. The style originated in northern Ethiopia, where women braid their hair close to the scalp, forming intricate patterns. Arranging the hair is a ritual that can take several hours. Styles of arranging sharuba vary widely. Self-taught hairdressers, guided by imagination, create diverse patterns on their friends' heads. In wealthier parts of Ethiopia, women adorn their braids with colorful ribbons and beads, but Dorze girls wore no such decorations. At last, the long-awaited clear day arrived. Sunlight lit up the surrounding valleys and hills. For the first time, we could take in the mountain landscape in all its splendor. We left the hotel and set out for a walk to the waterfall. The Chombaru brothers were to join us on the journey. The younger of the two, Tadele, was waiting for us by the bar. Along the way, only horses and donkeys passed us. In these parts, cars go by just once, perhaps twice a day. After a few kilometers, we stopped to rest. Sitting by the roadside, we watched the occasional passerby. The Chumburu brothers struck up a conversation with women wrapped in white gabi. The eldest among them was their aunt, walking with her neighbors on a visit to a nearby village. We left behind one Dorze homestead after another, set beautifully within the lush green landscape and surrounded by enset trees, which closely resemble banana plants. Along the way, we pass a Dorze farmer preparing the soil for planting potatoes. Oxen harnessed to the plow have been used in Abyssinian fields since the beginning of this millennium. The simple three-pronged plow itself was already known in ancient Egypt. Around 75% of Ethiopia's population still depends on agriculture for their livelihood. The staple food is teff, an ancient grain from which a distinctive flatbread is made and eaten with nearly every meal. Sorghum, maize and potatoes also play an important role in the local diet. As we approach the waterfall, the air grows heavy with moisture. In this part of Ethiopia, water is never in short supply. Nearby lie Lakes Chamo and Abaya, and from these highlands, great rivers begin their journey. During the rainy season, the waters can swell and flood, while in the dry months, many smaller streams disappear altogether. Time seemed to move more slowly in this corner of the world. The calm, unspoiled beauty of the landscape, far from the noise of the city, was almost intoxicating. Meadows scented with mint, mountain streams, and the distant sound of a waterfall drew us inward, each step becoming more reflective. We were already close. We reached the end of our journey. Set among lush greenery and bamboo groves, the waterfall rises some 30 meters, modest compared to those in the north, where some exceed 100. How many outsiders have made it here before us? Without the Chumburu brothers, we might never have known this place existed. Another hidden corner, added to our map of Ethiopia. We left the misty highlands of the Dorze behind, carrying their world with us. and continued south toward the rugged lands of the Konso. The Konso Highlands lie more than 400 miles from Addis Ababa and just over 100 miles from the Kenyan border. The Konso are a Cushitic people who migrated into southern Ethiopia around 5 centuries ago. This wild, mountainous land is cut through by countless valleys. In places, heavy rains have carved out impressive canyons. Our destination was the village of Mechek, set deep in the heart of the Konso region. In Mechek, every married man has his own compound, made up of several huts, while the compound is divided into an upper section known as Oida and a lower one called Arkatar. In addition to living huts, there are separate kitchens and granaries, while cattle are kept in the lower part of the compound. Our translator and guide, Alomitu, gradually introduced us to life in the village. The Konso welcomed us with a traditional millet drink, thick, nourishing, and only mildly alcoholic. Like many African societies, the Konso follow a system of age-based hierarchy. A person's place within a generation is not determined by age alone, but is often inherited from the father. Because of polygamy, age differences between siblings can be significant. It is not unusual for men to father children later in life, so that uncles may be younger than their nephews. In Konso society, men hold a dominant role. The heads of families, priests, and healers are all men. It is believed that Waga, the supreme deity, is the source of the social order. The status of women is complex and often ambivalent. On one hand, they remain outside formal social structures. On the other, they bear and raise children and prepare food, sustaining the life of the entire community. A man has the authority to discipline his wife and children, even using force if he considers it justified. Yet a woman has the right to leave her husband if she feels wronged. According to Konso beliefs, in the beginning God lived on earth and the world was good. Over time, people became worse and God withdrew to the sky. Things grew steadily more troubled. When the Amhara arrived from the north, they introduced money, changing the value of work. People became more driven by gain, and conflict began to follow. The following day, Alumatu guided us through the narrow paths of the village. The older children followed our every step through the village. The rubber strap of the camera drew their greatest curiosity. There was no real barrier in communication. The children knew we had come with strange objects to take photographs. The researcher of Konso culture, Professor Hallpike, described their settlements as towns. The network of narrow paths and the dense layout of the houses give the impression of an urban space. The streets are lively, often crowded. Groups of children carrying bundles of firewood pass one another with difficulty along the narrow paths. Around 2,000 people live in Mechek. Walking through its narrow streets, one comes across open spaces every 100 meters or so, known as mora. Some of these serve as places for ceremonies or gatherings of elders. while others are used simply for everyday social meetings. The children accompanying us show me small wooden figures, replicas of the famed Waga statues. In all of Ethiopia, only the Konso create such wooden objects imbued with symbolic spiritual meaning. Mechek leaves us with a sense of mystery. There is a presence in the air, something that feels rooted in the past. Many of its squares and paths are more than 300 years old. Weathered stone, moss-covered walls, and mist-softened sunlight create a unique atmosphere. It is an ambience reminiscent of the medieval quarters of Mediterranean towns. Since the conquest of Konso lands by the Amhara, the region has remained largely peaceful. The elders often live to an advanced age, and many of them spend their days spinning cotton. For the Konso, the passage of time has never held great importance. In their language, there was no word for time as an abstract concept. It entered their world only with the Amharic term for the hour. The Konso follow a lunar calendar based on a cycle of 12 months. They do not track the changing patterns of the Milky Way, but instead mark the seasons by observing the star Moka. They believe Moka is a divine being whose urine falls to the earth in the form of rain. The physical traces of the past are the statues placed on the graves of ancestors. They commemorate the heroic deeds of those who came before. Known as Waka, they represent lineage and memory, something passed down from the forefathers. Groups of statues often depict a man, his wives, and the enemies he defeated in battle. The compound of the teachers, Gitegu and Tedes, became our home for a few days. From the early hours of the morning, our every move was closely watched by dozens of children. The stone wall surrounding the compound marked the boundary of our privacy, though it was often crossed by curious onlookers. Around Mechek, along the paths leading to the fields, shallow reservoirs had been dug. During the rainy season, they filled with water used to supply the cattle. The land on the Konso Plateau is rocky and not very fertile. Farmers must constantly enrich the soil with animal manure and plant waste. Hundreds of hills are covered with stone terraces, built to protect the fragile soil from erosion. Across these carefully shaped landscapes lie thousands of hectares, the result of generations of hard work by the Konso. Walls of stacked basalt stones shield the fields from animals and seasonal floods. The craft of cotton weaving reached the Konso Plateau with the Amhara expansion in the late 19th century. As weaving workshops spread, so did the custom of wearing cloth, gradually replacing garments made from goat skins. The first weavers came from neighboring groups, but over time they settled and integrated with local farming families. Today their number is estimated at around 1,000 households, and their cotton fabrics, known as bulukos, are valued across Ethiopia. In the Konso region, cotton is viewed with a certain ambivalence. On one hand, it brings cash, allowing people to buy inexpensive goods from abroad: shirts, plastic sandals, even flashlights. On the other, cotton is believed to carry misfortune. It ripens during the hottest season, when water is scarce, and its white color is associated with bones and with death. blacksmith's compound is alive with activity. With the market set for the next day, the entire family is busy making aluminum bracelets. The raw material comes from melted down cans, and once poured into molds, the metal quickly hardens. Konso farmers compare blacksmiths to the moon. Unlike the sun, which rises and sets at fixed times, the moon appears at different hours, sometimes even during the day. In the same way, blacksmiths are highly mobile, moving from place to place in search of work. They do not own land, and their livelihood depends entirely on their craft. Aluminum wire is carefully shaped and worked, while polishing the metal and giving it its final shine is the task of women. It is not an easy task, especially in the heat of the day. It demands both effort and patience. A group of children watches the final stages of the work. The blacksmith bends the wire, skillfully shaping it into a bracelet, soon to become an adornment worn by one of the local women. The blacksmith's compound lies just 4 kilometers from the town of Fasha. Years ago, he left Meshek for economic reasons. Fasha hosts the largest market in the entire Konso region, where it is easier to sell goods and earn enough to support a large family. Metalworking technology reached the Konso region from the north, and the blacksmiths themselves came from there as well. Today, their number is estimated at around 30, a very small group, considering that the Konso population numbers about 80,000. The market in Fasha is crowded and full of movement. People have come from all corners of the region, some to sell, others to buy, and many simply to watch. We were drawn to the locally made jewelry, bracelets of brass and bronze. Konso women offered their ornaments directly from their wrists, holding them out for closer inspection. The vendor, along with others from the crowd, eagerly helped us try them on. In the end, we bought a few metal ornaments. The women gathered around the stall exchanged lively remarks about us. It seemed that foreigners rarely came here to shop. At the market in Fasha, a wide variety of food was on offer. Large cassava roots cost only a few coins, and when cooked, their taste resembled potatoes. Several women proudly displayed their ceramic wares. The most sought-after pieces were large clay pots used to store water or grain. Every few minutes, another pot changed hands. Every Konso household relied on having several of these vessels in the kitchen. "Look, this pot is well fired. It won't crack," the vendor seemed to say. Every transaction at the market was accompanied by loud commentary and lively exchange. Young and old alike came to the market to earn money. Here, individual initiative mattered above all. Bundles of firewood and bananas were among the most sought-after goods. The market in Fasha was an important event in the Konso region. New connections were made here, and for many people from distant villages on the plateau, it was a rare chance to meet others, sometimes even Europeans. Water for coffee is boiled in a traditional clay pot. Long before it was prepared as a hot drink, coffee was consumed in other ways for centuries. In the Ethiopian region of Kafar, where the plant was first discovered, the beans were eaten raw. They were also ground into a paste and mixed with butter. Later, people began to make a kind of coffee wine. It was only in the 13th century that roasting the beans and preparing coffee as a hot drink became common. For the next 7 centuries, the method of preparing coffee in Ethiopia remained unchanged. Freshly roasted beans are placed in a wooden mortar and pounded for several minutes into a fine powder. This method of preparing coffee is practiced throughout Ethiopia, where it is often enjoyed after every meal. Once the beans are finely ground, they are added to hot water and boiled for several minutes. The result is a strong brew, yet not overly acidic. Ethiopian coffee, grown at high altitudes, is renowned for its exceptional quality. Our host brings in fresh sprigs of tenedum from the garden, giving the coffee a distinct fresh aroma. The drink is served in small cups, and it is customary to have 3 rounds. In Ethiopia, it is said that the first cup is for the father, the next for the mother, and the last for the children. The coffee tastes exceptional. After several days among the Konso, we returned to our base in the town of Arba Minch. We wanted to rest again in a hotel and replenish our food supplies. Together with our young guide Wasan, we headed to the market. By early June, the rainy season comes to an end, and the remaining showers are brief. From the early hours of the morning, crowds of people make their way toward the market in Arba Minch. The market is divided into sections. Women selling fruit and vegetables sit along the main road, while separate areas are devoted to household goods, clothing, and livestock. At the market, we bought not only fruit and vegetables, but also biscuits from Yemen and canned fish from Canada. Our guide explained that the busiest day is Thursday, when no other markets are held in the surrounding area. We said goodbye to Arba Minch, casting one last look at the Kuflo River flowing down from the nearby mountains, rising to nearly 13,000 feet. Our next destination was the town of Jinka, the gateway to the Omo Valley. A trader in Jinka offered us bracelets made from giraffe hair. We examined the unusual jewelry with curiosity. It looked more like electrical cables than adornment. We struck a deal and then set off to explore the town and its surroundings. Jinka was the last outpost of civilization. Here one could make a final stop to refuel and stock up on supplies. Beyond it, to the west toward Sudan, stretched a vast and untamed savanna. To the south, near the Kenyan border, the landscape gave way to arid desert terrain. As we moved through the surrounding villages of the Ari people, we met young men who spoke English. Among the Omotic groups, it is the Ari who have adapted most quickly to the changing realities of modern Africa. From the peoples of the north, they learned to raise cattle, donkeys, sheep, and chickens. Our choice fell on a tall young man named Andulem, whom we invited to join us on the journey to the Omo Valley as the driver's assistant. We asked our new companion about other peoples living in the Omo River region. Andulem assured us that along the river, in Mago National Park, we would encounter people still living in a truly traditional way. The Maki River, where the Mursi were said to live, lay about 50 miles from Jinka. The rocky track across the savannah was in terrible condition. It took us 4 hours of rough driving through the bush to reach the river. Our driver watched the restless current of the Maki River with concern, trying to judge its depth. Only when Andulem stepped into the water were we able to properly assess the riverbed. Finding a safe place to cross took us a considerable amount of time. From the river, it was a half-hour walk to the nearest Mursi settlement. To this day, the Mursi have largely preserved their traditional way of life. During the dry season, they live in settlements on the hills. When the rains come, they move down into the Omo Valley, where they cultivate sorghum on the river's floodplains. They are also skilled gatherers of wild honey and accomplished hunters. Mursi women wear clay lip plates inserted into their lower lips, a local standard of beauty. Those with the largest plates are especially admired and enjoy high status among men. Although the Mursi do not practice metalworking, they enjoy wearing metal bracelets obtained from neighboring tribes. Their clothing is made from cowhide, sometimes decorated with strands of aluminum wire. The Mursi are estimated to number around 5,000 people. Known for their warrior spirit, they are often feared by neighboring groups. In ongoing conflicts over cattle, a few warriors lose their lives each year. Unlike most groups in the Gamagofa region, the Mursi belong to the Nilo-Saharan language family. Their ancestors migrated here from the areas of present-day Sudan. In recent years, the occasional arrival of visitors has sparked a growing demand for money. Today, a fee of about $1.50 is expected for each photograph. Bargaining is rarely an option. Warriors need cash, often to buy ammunition for their Kalashnikovs. The Mursi, like other peoples of the Omo Valley, have preserved much of their material culture in an unchanged form. Today, such traditional ways of dress are rarely seen, often surviving only in travel books and illustrations from a century ago. Here in Gamagofa, a fragment of a more untouched Africa still remains, one that echoes the world once encountered by David Livingstone and Henry Morton Stanley.